Thank you very much for waiting. We will now begin session 2, Environment①, Promoting Zero Emissions, Realizing a Circular Economy. Our moderator will be Mr. Togo Uchida, ICLEI Japan Executive Director. The speakers for this session are Director General from Tokyo Metropolitan Government Bureau of Environment, Ms. Matsumoto Akiko. Mayor of Bishkek, Mr. Aybek Zhunoshliev. Minister President of Brussels, Mr. Rudy Vervoort. Deputy Mayor of Los Angeles, Ms. Nancy Sutley. Deputy Mayor of Malmö, Ms. Sophia Hedden. And Senior Trade and Investment Commissioner for North Asia from Queensland, Mr. Tak Adachi. Please.
Hello. So thank you for keeping patience and waiting for us. Dear distinguished guests and to those watching through the streamlining of this event, welcome to section 2 of today's program on promoting zero emission and circular economy. My name is Togo Uchida and I am the Executive Director for ICLEI Japan. ICLEI is a network of leading subnational and local governments across the world pursuing sustainability. I am honored to have Governor Koike serving as the board of directors and having 26 top leading local governments in Japan who have been actively engaged in our operations. I am pleased and excited to be the moderator of this session as we work very close to many of the cities represented here today in this session. Session underlying theme, climate change is a serious challenge common to all humankind. The recent study found that summer of 2023 was the Northern Hemisphere's hottest in 2,000 years, with an increase of 2.07 degrees Celsius, warmer than the average temperature of pre-industrial time. COP28 in Dubai was significant from the perspective that international communities show their willingness and commitment to solve the problem, but we are now running out of time. World population is growing and more people are moving into cities. This trend will continue and therefore promoting zero emission is not only essential for creating a sustainable city, but a sustainable world. And this is why we would like to hear from our distinguished local leaders across the world. To begin the session, I would like to ask each city to give a 5-minute presentation. After all presentations have finished, I will ask each city a question and you will have about 3 minutes to answer. Okay, so without further ado, let's welcome the first speaker, Director General Matsumoto Akiko from Tokyo Metropolitan Government Bureau of Environment. You have the floor, please.
Thank you, Togo. Hello, everyone. I'm Matsumoto Akiko, Director General, the Tokyo Bureau of Environment. Today, I'd like to introduce the zero emission initiatives that we are particularly focusing on. The world is facing various crises that pose increased threats year by year, including climate change, tense international situations, and energy issues. At COP28, hosted by the UAE in December of last year, the first summit for city leaders was held. It was a historic step for the international society confronting these common crises. Yuriko Koike, the governor of Tokyo, also participated in the summit. It is said that the 21st century is the era of cities. Tokyo, with a population of 14 million, needs to fulfill our responsibility as a major area of energy consumption. The Tokyo metropolitan government aims to achieve 2030 carbon half and 2050 zero emission and is advancing innovative initiatives. One such initiative is to accelerate the shift to renewable energy. More than 70% of CO2 emissions in Tokyo stems from buildings. Being densely packed with houses, Tokyo has countless roofs. So it has great potential for introducing solar power generation. Therefore, from April of 2025, the TMG will launch a system to mandate housing manufacturers, etc., to install solar power generation facilities on newly built houses. Furthermore, we have improved and strengthened support, such as programs subsidizing the initial cost of introducing solar power generation. By accelerating such initiatives, by 2030, we will achieve 2 million kilowatts of installed solar power generation capacity, which is more than 3 times the current capacity. We will also provide strong support for early social implementation of new technologies. Japan has developed the next generation of solar cell technology, which is thin, lightweight, and flexible. We believe that it will enable us to generate electricity everywhere, including buildings, houses, even transportation, and will become the game changer for decarbonization. The TMG is collaborating with development businesses to advance the implementation of solar power generation equipment at various TMG-owned facilities, including sewage facilities and TMG office buildings, in order to confirm their performance both indoors and outdoors. In addition, the world's first private project to install next-generation mega-class solar cells on the walls of a skyscraper in central Tokyo is currently underway. It will become a symbolic case, decarbonization. In 2022, we published Tokyo Hydrogen Vision as the vision for 2050 in order to encourage understanding and investment for hydrogen. The TMJ has been providing the area that was the Tokyo 2020 Olympic-Paralympic Village with hydrogen for power generation via pipelines since this March. This is a new city model to utilize hydrogen energy in daily life. Further, the TMG will start the process of establishing the first domestic hydrogen exchange. This year, we will implement a trial trading program to make the process of trading green hydrogen smooth. The manufacturer's selling price and the user's purchasing price will each be decided by bidding, and the TMG will support the price difference. By creating both demand and supply for hydrogen energy, we will realize a society where people can have easier access to hydrogen. The TMG will aim to become the city that can realize resilient and sustainable growth by carrying out all possible measures. As the environment issues cannot be solved only by one city, international cooperation is essential. We would like to collaborate with all of you and achieve 2050 zero emission. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director General Matsumoto.
ございました。松本局長。次にご紹介いたしますのは、ビシュベックの市長です。こんにちは。 Thanks to all of you. First of all, let me express my gratitude to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government for the opportunity to participate in such important international event like Sushi Tech 2024. I'm sure that such events give impetus to the development of international cooperation and the joint search for best practices in solving environmental problems in cities around the world. And now, I'm briefly sharing information about ongoing work of the Bishkek city government in the field of improving air quality in Bishkek, according to each slide of presentation. Slide 1. Can you change the slide? Slide 3. Okay. The next one. Three slides. Oh, yes.
Okay. На первом слайде прописаны географические особенности.
Map highlighting Bishkek's geographical features, slide 1. Bishkek, the capital city of Kyrgyzstan, is nestled in the heart of the Tian Mountains, offering breathtaking scenery and a unique geographical setting. This map highlights the city's location, surrounded by majestic peaks, which not only contribute to its beauty but also influence its environmental conditions. The population is about 1 and 2 million people. We have 4 administratively divided into 4 districts. The area of the city will increase a total of 3 times because the Bishkek city government plan to do the administrative and territorial expansion of the city, and in plan to increase the area from 127 kilometers square to 386 kilometers square. The environmental situation in Bishkek. Bishkek faces significant environmental challenges, particularly concerning air quality. Rapid urbanization, industrial activities, and vehicular emissions have led to pollution levels that exceed recommended standards. Poor air quality not only affects the health and well-being of residents, but also impacts the city's overall livability and economic development. A thorough analysis of Bishkek's current air quality situation reveals alarming statistics. Particulate matter PM2.5 and PM10, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide levels often surpass permissible limits, posing risks to public health. Additionally, seasonal factors such as temperature inversions exacerbate pollution levels, further compromising air quality. Addressing Bishkek's air quality challenges requires a multifaceted approach. Implementing stringent emission standards for industries and vehicles, promoting renewable energy sources, enhancing public transportation infrastructures, and raising awareness about air pollution's adverse effects are crucial steps toward improving. Collaborative efforts involving government agencies, businesses, civil society, and citizens are essential for sustainable change. For example, the reclamation of the Bishkek sanitary landfill was started in December 2023, which reduced the smoke level to 10–15%. On March 29, 2024, a capsule was laid for the new construction of a new waste recycling plant on the territory of the Bishkek sanitary landfill, which will also improve the environmental situation, and the plant will also produce electricity, create new jobs, and directly recycle garbage for its intended purpose without warehousing. Also, in order to improve the environmental situation in the city today, the Bishkek city government has decided to improve the public transport fleet. 1,100 ecological green buses powered by gas have been purchased, and 120 more electric buses are expected to arrive by the end of 2024. The Bishkek city government has undertaken proactive measures to tackle air pollution and improve the city's environmental sustainability. From implementing emission reduction programs to investing in green technologies and infrastructure, various initiatives have been launched to mitigate pollution levels. In conclusion, solving air quality problems in Bishkek requires concerted efforts by all stakeholders. By implementing effective policies, implementing sustainable practices, and encouraging the participation of the public and international donors, investors, we can create a cleaner, healthier, and livable city for the present. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mayor Jushin. Next, we would like to move from Central Asia to Europe. Minister President Rudy Voldemort of Brussels Capital Region. Minister President, please.
Thank you. So I'm very honored that I can share a bold vision for the European capital with you. A vision that propels us towards a carbon-neutral city, a true beacon of sustainability and innovation. To understand this vision fully, please allow me to take you on a journey through the challenges we have to take up, the initiative we have already implemented, and the ambitions that drives our action for the future. Brussels, with its territorial boundaries of under 62 square kilometers, presents a unique challenge in terms of sustainable urban development. While preserving our economic activity in the territory, we are endeavoring to shift to a cleaner, more sustainable economy that is tailored to the constraints of the city. Steeped in history, our historic buildings represent both an heritage asset and a major challenge in our quest for carbon neutrality. The energy renovation of these buildings is actually an absolute imperative if we are to reduce our environmental footprint. To meet this requirement, a recent law will prohibit energy inefficient buildings, known as energy sieves, as for 2033 onwards. Moreover, an ambitious standard will be set by 2045. All buildings must aim for a maximum of 100 kilowatt-hours per square meters, compared with an average of 2010 today. Admittedly rigorous, this measure is essential to ensure an effective and sustainable energy transition. So, what do we do? In response to the requirement, we have implemented the Revolution program, Revolution in Renovation, a vast public-private cooperation schemes that supports all necessary aspects of this transition. Launched 6 years ago, this revolutionary program is intended to accelerate the energy renovation strategy for our buildings, and it's part of the broader Brussels shifting economy strategy, with projects as shift towards a decarbonized, regenerative, circular and social economy in the Brussels capital region. We have devised Revolution as a comprehensive strategy to address the needs and particular characteristic of all stakeholders involved. We have divided these stakeholders into 3 categories: individual housing, public authorities, and the private sector. Support tailored to the reality and need of each of these categories is offered through associations that we subsidize. Each of these categories is also entitled to appropriate funding in the form of grants and loans. Finally, a permanent call for projects has been created to encourage innovation in renovation. We are convinced that we will achieve these ambitious goals by mobilizing and supporting all stakeholders, from the public and private sectors to individuals. The exemplary nature of our region is a fundamental pillar of this transition. As the capital of Europe, we must show the way by adopting innovative and sustainable practices. In this spirit that CTDEF, our regional development arm, plays a crucial role in implementing these initiatives. Together, we are working to promote a circular approach to construction and urban development. Brussels was at the forefront of energy performance 10 years ago when it imposed the passive standard of 15 kilowatts per square meter per year. A standard that CTDEF had introduced already back in 2009. This corresponds to near neutrality and, let's say, the cost of a coffee per year per square meter for eating. Circularity has now taken its place at the heart of our strategy. We have opted to demolish less and rebuild better, to make the most of recycled materials and to design buildings with a low carbon footprint. This innovative and ambitious approach demonstrates our commitment to a more sustainable future. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, we're at a pivotal moment in our urban history, and we are up against unprecedented challenges, but we also have unique opportunities to shape a more sustainable and resilient future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister President Vervoort. Thank you very much. Next, we're moving to American continent, and we have Deputy Mayor Nancy Sutley from Los Angeles. Deputy Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and very pleased to be here at this very important gathering. So I wanted to start by talking a little bit about Los Angeles. Many of you may know, Los Angeles is the second most populous city in the United States, with about 4 million people. It's also one of the most diverse cities in the world, and dozens of countries. The largest population outside of the country of origin is in Los Angeles. So we're known for many things, including our love of our cars. We have a very extensive freeway network, which can make sustainability efforts a little bit of a challenge. But most importantly, our bonus fact, it is home to the best baseball team in the universe, the Los Angeles Dodgers. And for those of you who care, Mr. Shohei Ohtani hit a home run last night and 3 hits as the Dodgers beat their rival San Francisco Giants 10-2. So thank you. As we look at our energy and sustainability goals in Los Angeles, we are trying to get to a decarbonized city, looking at our buildings, transportation, our electric grid, how we handle waste, and importantly, in an arid climate like Los Angeles, increasing our local water supply. We also need to do it in a way to protect all of our residents by prioritizing communities that have borne a disproportionate burden of pollution, improving their health outcomes, and increasing resilience in those communities. Also, in building a strong, green, and equitable economy, promoting industries and workforce in the green sector that will help support underserved communities and provide economic opportunity across the city. And then finally, as we're sitting here today, to really try to position Los Angeles as a global leader for climate action. Today I'm going to talk about our electric grid, which is really the key to our decarbonization efforts. If we can decarbonize our electric grid, we can decarbonize transportation through electrification, and also our buildings. Los Angeles is unusual among American cities, but not unique in that the city itself owns the power grid. So the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is the largest municipally owned utility that serves the city of Los Angeles and has electric generation capacity all across the western United States, as well as transmission lines that bring power from 5 western US states into Los Angeles. In 2021, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power completed the LA 100 study, which was an effort to identify the investments that are necessary to get to 100% clean energy, and looked at thousands of scenarios and millions of data points, and came to a number of very important conclusions, including that 100% renewable energy, 100% clean energy on our grid is achievable, and that we need to invest in electrification in the transportation sector and in the building sector that will help ensure that we can make this transition affordably. And Los Angeles, unfortunately, suffers the worst air pollution in the US, and so electrifying our transportation network will have the biggest impact on our air quality challenges. The study also concluded that these investments would result in significant job creation and growth in customer types of programs like rooftop solar, energy storage, demand response, and electric vehicles. So we continue to make progress towards this zero-emission grid. The goal that we arrived at after the LA 100 study was to get to 100% clean energy grid by 2035. And so that means increasing the number of renewable energy projects on the grid, and that continues to increase. In fact, in California, this year, we've had a number of days where the state's entire grid was operating on 100% renewable energy. And we also continue to make investments in large-scale energy storage, such as batteries and hydro pump storage, and local solar, rooftop solar, and distributed energy storage projects across the city. So we are feeling very enthusiastic about our goals and making great progress to them. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Sotley, thank you very much. Next, coming back to European continent, our next speaker is Deputy Mayor Sofia Hedin from Malmö. Deputy Mayor, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My name is Sofia Hedin. I'm the Deputy Mayor, and I'm responsible for the environment in Malmö. I also have a long background as a teacher for 7th to 9th grade. And I think that's one of the things that makes me so eager to solve the climate issues, because seeing the youngsters today with their climate anxiety tells us we have to do something. Malmö is one of the 100 mission cities in the European Union with great ambitions of becoming climate neutral. And the city of Malmö is a frontrunner in the European green transition. And this is something that we are very proud of. But we also know that we still have a long way to go to reach our goals. And to succeed, we have to focus on one thing, creating a just transition where everybody has the possibility to be a part of our green journey. To do that, we of course have to do where we are today and where we are going to. So this is the historical and potential levels of territorial gashouse emission in Malmö, so within the Malmö's geography. Our largest emissions come from road traffic, that's almost a little bit more than 40%, and the energy sector, almost 30%. And this is a large challenge because at local level, we have quite little influence over traffic emissions, because we have a big road going through Malmö on the way to the bridge to Denmark, with a lot of transport. So because of that, we have to work very innovatively to find ways to achieve climate neutrality by 2030. So we have carried out so-called scenario analysis that show how we can reach the goals by 2030. And the analysis includes 4 emission areas: heating, electricity, road traffic, and work machinery. And with strong emission reduction in these 4 sectors, we think that we can reduce the emissions by 73% by 2030. And to reach our goal to be net zero, we are planning to make a CCS, carbon capture storage facility, at the municipal waste company, so we can reduce the emissions even more. So this is a map of Malmö where we can go into each area and see how much the consume-based emissions are. So what people and the impact of the consumption contributed to Sweden in other countries. Most of our emissions caused by Swedish consumptions take place abroad, like the trips we make outside of Malmö and the coffee we drink, grown elsewhere in the world, but it's an impact on the world. So by 2030, Malmö's consumption-based emissions of greenhouse gases should be well on the way to a sustainable level. But as we can see at this map, it's not fair today, because in the western Malmö, where the more rich people live, they have 10 tons per person a year, and in the eastern Malmö, where people have less money, it can get down to 3.6 tons per person. So it's not equal today, and that we have to do something about. Because climate change is a matter of fairness. These are 2 maps. On the left, you can see the discomfort index. It's when the heat comes, how hot it gets in the city. And to the right, the consumption-based emissions. And so where people let out more emissions, they also has it better. So we have to do, if we want to make this to succeed, we have to make this more fair. And this is the discomfort index together with the crown coverage. That's actually the trees around. So every black dot is a tree, and it's bigger if it's a bigger crown. And you can see that we have a lot more trees in the western Malmö, where it's better comfort, and also people have more money, and that is not fair. So now we see that we have to make this better, we have to plant more trees in the eastern Malmö. And this is a good example of how the climate transition not only requires a justice perspective in mind, but in itself also can increase equality. Because by planting trees in areas with a high discomfort index, it contributes to more pleasant living environments, while at the same time increasing the resilience of the area against extreme weather. The climate transition requires equality, but equality also requires an ecologically sustainable society. So therefore, the transition itself is an important tool to strengthen the equality in our city, but also to prepare the city and our inhabitants for a climate that is changing. So Malmö is convinced that in order to succeed, we must work together. We know that when we work together, we can achieve things that wouldn't be possible if we did it by ourselves. So together with the business, the academia, the civil society, and every single Malmö resident, we will build a green and equal city and reach our ambitious climate goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Hidden. Lastly, and surely not the least, we are taking a leap to Australian continent now. We have Senior Trade and Investment Commissioner for North Asia, Tak Adachi from State of England. Senior Commissioner, please.
Thank you. Down. Thank you. All right. So the state of Queensland, it's one of there are 6 states in Australia, and I'm representing the state of Queensland. The size of the Queensland is about the 5 times size of the land size of Japan, but with only 5 million people. So there are very different challenges between Tokyo and Queensland, and Japan and Queensland. Japan is Queensland's second largest export market and the third largest investor in Australia. Tokyo and Queensland have a very special relationship for many years, and in this month also marks the inauguration of the two governments' staff exchange program. So we have Tokyo government staff working in our headquarters in Brisbane from last month. The other interesting similarity is that the fact that we have similar budget size, about $85 billion. Brisbane, our capital city, will host the 2032 Olympic Games, and our games focuses the climate positive aspect of the Olympics. So this really provides a compelling platform to accelerate Queensland's continuing journey to net zero emission by 2050. Our state, Queensland, achieved its 2030 emission reduction target of 30%, 8 years ahead of schedule in 2022. We'll continue its strong commitment to tackling climate change, recently locking in new targets into law, including 75% by 2035 and zero emission by 2050. So a major piece of the puzzle in mapping out our plan is to achieve zero emission is the Queensland Energy and Job Plan. This changing energy mix will help Queensland meet its renewable target. So Queensland energy generation mix will transform over time. We are known as a sunshine state of Australia, so we got a lot of solar, wind, and storage. We currently we have about 26% of Queensland electricity is produced from renewable energy sources, and a third of the state's household generating electricity on the rooftop. We'll need 25 gigawatts of large-scale solar and wind generation by 2035. Our state government budget includes 19 billion Australian dollars, landmark capital investment by our government-owned corporations to deliver on the energy plans. This includes transmissions, pump to hydro, the storage and hydrogen initiatives. So one of our unique aspects of our government is the fact that the government, Queensland government owns a lot of corporations. The government-owned corporations are in energy generation, transmission, ports, and water, as well as the pension fund. So this makes easy for us to deliver some of the policy initiatives. So hydrogen we believe it presents an opportunity to aid decarbonization for the state of Queensland. We are in a prime position to build and support the new hydrogen industry thanks to our abundant solar and wind resources, large areas of land, and highly skilled workforce. We already have quite a few projects. Queensland strong track record in terms of global leadership of LNG industry, coal industry. Those export industry provides confidence to international investors that it has the capacity and capability to stand up an energy export industry, particularly in green hydrogen. We have over 50 green hydrogen and ammonia projects already in progress across the state. Many of them have Japanese partners headquartered in Tokyo. So thank you for this opportunity again.
Thank you very much, Senior Commissioner Adachi-san. So we have finished with the presentation from all the participants, and now we would like to move on to the Q&A session. But actually, we don't have time much. So I will be asking a question to each of the speakers, but I appreciate if you could keep the answers very short and punctual. So starting from Matsumoto-san from Tokyo Metropolitan Government, I think we are all interested in the mandatory installation of solar panel, which is going to start next year. And this is the first local government in Japan to create such regulation. And it must have been quite a challenge for your government to pursue this to happen. So from that perspective, I would like to ask why the Tokyo government have decided on implementing the mandatory installation of solar panels. Please.
Thank you for your question, Mr. To. We have no time to waste in responding to the climate and energy crisis, and it is extremely urgent that we achieve a decarbonized society. Buildings are responsible for more than 70% of CO2 emissions in Tokyo and are used over the span of decades. So it is extremely important to implement measures for new buildings. Solar panels provide diverse benefits, including economic efficiency by reducing electricity costs and disaster resistance by making electricity available even during power outages. By utilizing the full potential of Tokyo's densely packed rooftops, we will secure locally produced energy for local consumption. In light of this, we have created Japan's first system to make the installation of solar panels on newly built houses mandatory. And this pioneering initiative has inspired other Japanese municipalities to follow suit, including Kawasaki City. Thank you.
Director General, thank you very much. I have also been hearing that not only Kawasaki, but other local governments are interested to follow Tokyo. So congratulations and thank you very much. Now I would like to move on to Mayor Junushaliev. In your presentation, you mentioned the challenge of air pollution in your city. And at the same time, your representation of the carbon emission is only very fraction in comparison to maybe other cities that's representing on the stage today. So I'm assuming that there's a maybe co-benefit of dealing with the climate mitigation action and also improving the air pollution. Can you please share us more thoughts on those multi-benefit activities that you may pursue in your city? Thank you very much.
Я хотел бы отметить, что на основе анализа причин загрязнения воздуха мы выявили, вернее, определили 3 основные направления нашей деятельности. Первое – это все-таки транспорт. Транспорт сегодня
As the raw analysis of Bishkek's current air quality situations, we understand that we have 3 problems in these issues. The first one is a transport situation in our city. The second one is the electroenergy, and the third one is the garbage disposal system. Nowadays, Bishkek city government is currently adopting the Japanese garbage disposal system. This system consists in correct sorting of garbage. Today, we try to build a new factory. And the last one is gasification of the building. And to solve the air pollution situation in our country, we need to plant more leadings, trees, to make more areas for parking, to create the ecological areas in the world.
И работа с населением по утилизации мусора связана с тем, чтобы мусор они выносили раздельные, формирование раздельного выноса мусора.
The main purpose of garbage construction is to sort garbage, incinerate garbage, and produce electricity as a result of incineration. I think it's good solving the problem in our city.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mayor. Yes, it's all about solving multiple issues rather than just only focusing on one issue. Thank you very much for the example. Now, I would like to have a question for Minister President Vervoort from Brussels. So you mentioned in your presentation about Revolution, which is a very interesting activity that you're engaged of. But I am also aware that you have an obligation of renovation that is coming up starting from 2025. Could you please share us a little bit about that connection of Revolution and the obligation of renovation policy that you're going to implement, please?
Thank you. So this is in fact an opportunity to address the aspect of productive cities, particularly in a clearly defined territory such as Brussels, where all functions must be able to find their place. We have to rethink our urban spaces to make them more attractive for business, and in particular, productive businesses. For this reason, when it comes to urban planning, we make sure to preserve the productive function, but also to redefine the industrial fabric as and where relevant by adapting it to the more granular needs of small business and mixing it with other functions such as housing or facilities. CityDev, or development arm, has a specific branch dedicated to economic expansion through which we now provide quality workspaces with maximum energy performance to 500 companies where they can thrive and innovate. More specifically, for the past 5 years, we have been adopting an incentive approach to the shifting economy where companies can network on circularity and transition issues in general. In the same vein, we grant up to 33% rent reduction to companies that contribute to circular economy, innovation, biodiversity, and roof activation, for example. You can see two of these companies on the image, but there's no one there. One is active in reselling materials from the deconstruction of old buildings, and the other developed its product in one of our Fab Labs, where it produces in solution materials based on mushrooms. We are convinced that we can build the city of tomorrow by promoting the emergence of a sustainable and inclusive economy. This is an important part of the city we envision, where sustainability, innovation, and prosperity goes hand in hand. In this perfect example of how we combine social and environmental policies in Brussels. Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Ministry. Yes, it's all about putting incentives first and then moving and gearing up to the obligation part. So it's very encouraging. Thank you very much. Now I have a question for Deputy Mayor Sutley from Los Angeles. You kindly introduced us about the study that you conducted, the LA 100 study. And it was very encouraging to know that 100% renewable energy was achievable, was the result of the study. Now, at the same time, I've been hearing from the participants about equity and justice and how that is so important. Please tell us a little bit about how you are going to achieve 100% renewable energy in consideration of just transition or something of accessibility issues, please.
Well, thank you. One of the things that we recognized in doing this study was we needed to be intentional about understanding the equity considerations in a city as diverse as Los Angeles. We actually completed a follow-on study with some of the same researchers, looking at what we called the LA 100 equity strategies. So taking a systematic look, a systematic analysis of how to, what issues were important to address in implementing this 100% clean energy goal to achieve a more equitable city. So that analysis looked at everything from affordability to access to programs to how the electric tariffs are structured to make sure that they treated all Angelenos fairly. So as we're kind of building out some of those programs, there's a number of things that we've already started to do to try to promote more equity and fairness in this clean energy transition, including things like sponsoring an electric vehicle car share program with funding from the state of California that's available primarily in low-income communities for those who can't afford to buy their own electric vehicle or otherwise wouldn't have access to electric transportation. And also looking at things like energy efficiency or energy savings retrofits. So we designed a program called the Comprehensive Affordable Multifamily Retrofit Program, looking at large apartment buildings that serve primarily poorer Angelenos and trying to deal with the issues that the landlords and the tenants don't necessarily share the benefits of energy savings. So this program will allow really at almost no cost very extensive energy efficiency retrofits that will help everybody save money on their power bills. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Sutley. Now, I would like to move on to Deputy Mayor Sophia Hedin. You also mentioned about equity, but you ended up your presentation by word mentioning together. And my understanding, you've been here in Tokyo for GNET Summit. This is for your second time, I guess. And you are engaged in this discussion that we're having right now, getting acquainted with other local governments across the world, and especially City Malmo. Your mayor is representing, as a first president of ICLEI, as a whole of a global network. Please tell us a little bit more about your ideas about how the networking and city-to-city collaboration can contribute to pursuing your local activities on achieving net zero, please.
Thank you. 70% of the greenhouse gas emissions comes from the cities. So the city has a key role if we want to change the planet, essentially. So, and the city has to be more involved. Also, I think the cities has to get more funding because we only get, I think, 15% of the funding worldwide, even though we stand for 70% of the emissions. You always say that no man is an island, and that also goes for the cities. If we want to change, we have to learn from each other, because we all have different challenges. We heard that today, very different challenges because of our geography and so on. But we also have different solutions. So to come here and to share the solutions with each other, I think we can go home and make some changes in our own cities, every one of us. And all that changes together maybe makes the world better in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Last and not least, thank you for waiting, Mr. Adachi. So you have shared us that there's a significant amount of interest and participation from Japanese companies in Queensland on renewable and hydrogen projects and activities. Why do you think that is the case? Please.
Thank you. I think, first of all, Japanese love Australia, Queensland beaches, and then Queenslanders love Japanese ski resorts. That's probably the fundamental, important, the foundation. But seriously speaking, I think there are a lot of reasons why Japan looks to Queensland for hydrogen and renewable projects. Natural resources, I think we're very rich in terms of natural resources. Not just in terms of fossil fuel like coal and gas and so on, but we are rich in terms of sunshine, wind, and biomass resources. I think we are well positioned to look at this energy transition chapter. Strong government policies such as the one I have presented are very important in terms of directives, and also the size of budget. I think energy transition requires a lot of money, and then the government needs to be looking at that issue. We also are quite unique in that we have a number of government-owned corporations in utilities and infrastructure area, which makes it easier for us to deliver policies through those we call the GOC, government-owned corporations. And then I think the fact that Japan and Australia, Japan and Queensland have had over 50 years of the international supply chain trading track record and experience throughout coal and LNG and all the other industries, particularly in resources and energy sector, that gives a lot of confidence to the Japanese companies to do the next chapter of projects such as hydrogen, and I didn't mention SAF and biofuel, e-methane, e-fuel, all these things. Japan has the technologies, Queensland has natural ingredients, I think, which we combine the two, a bit like cooking. Good chef and good ingredients makes a superb recipe, I think, like last night. So I think we look forward to further exploring collaboration with Japan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arashi-san. And I think that fits very well as a conclusion of this particular session, because there's a mentioning about how we could learn from our commonality of issues, but at the same time, we could also learn utilizing the different resources that we have as local governments, and therefore working together to achieve zero carbon together. And I think that could be a very nice framework for us to wrap up this session. I think one of the key words that came out from this session was energy, buildings, co-benefit, and collaboration. And I think we could take that as a lesson and move on, and all of us go back to our own cities to implement our projects on the ground. So thank you very much for all the speakers, and apologize for making you rush for the comments. But thankfully, I think we have wrapped up pretty nicely at the end. So may I ask all the audience to finally join me with expressing our respect and gratitude to all the participants and speakers with a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, to commemorate this session, we would like to take a photo with all the speakers and the moderators. So can you please step forward and gather in the middle of the stage? Thank you very much. That concludes our photo shooting. Please give a round of applause to everyone who took the stage. Thank you very much. With that, we conclude session 2. We will now take a 15-minute coffee break. The next session, session 4, Environment①, promoting zero emission, will be held in this room. And session 5, Inclusive and Just Societies 1, Promoting Women's Empowerment, Promoting Sports and Cultures will be held in the Tsuru Room. The session in this room will begin at 2:25. We kindly ask you to be seated at this room before the starting time. Thank you very much.